In the stillness of the night, a loyal German shepherd named Max became a silent guardian. When a fire broke out in the Petersons' home, Max sensed danger long before any human or smoke alarm. Acting on instinct and love, he gently pulled baby Emma from her crib and led her outside to safety. At first, Sarah and Mark panicked, believing their dog had gone rogue. But when they saw the flames rising from the kitchen, they realized the truth. Max had saved their daughter's life. In that moment, he was no longer just a pet, but a true hero and protector. Max, the Petersons' loyal German shepherd, was more than just a pet. He was family. On an ordinary night, as Sarah and Mark tucked their 8-month-old daughter Emma into bed, Max lay nearby, ever watchful. Hours later, at 3:00 a.m., he sensed something the humans couldn't smoke. Before the fire alarm sounded, Max's instincts kicked in. Restless and alert, he paced, whined, and scratched at Emma's door. When no one responded, he gently tugged Emma from her crib, carefully dragging her to safety. At first, Sarah and Mark were terrified, thinking Max had lost control. But as they followed him to the front yard, the truth hit them. The kitchen was in flames. Max had saved their daughter's life. As dawn broke and firefighters arrived, the Petersons stood in awe of what had nearly been lost and what had been saved. Neighbors watched in silence, moved by the selfless bravery of a dog who couldn't speak but understood everything. With his chest heaving and eyes fixed on his family, Max stood as a symbol of loyalty, love, and protection. That night changed everything. Max wasn't just their dog, he was their guardian angel. His courage reminded everyone that sometimes the deepest love comes without words, only action. Max's actions that night were driven by something far deeper than instinct. They were fueled by love. As flames began to consume the Petersons' kitchen, it wasn't the smoke alarm that raised the first alarm, but Max's unshakable intuition. He didn't bark frantically or panic. Instead, he moved with careful urgency, nudging open Emma's door, gently tugging her blanket, and dragging the sleeping baby out of danger. To her parents, it looked terrifying until they saw the glow of fire creeping through the kitchen walls. That's when they realized Max wasn't trying to harm their daughter. He was saving her. Outside, as they stood barefoot on the cold lawn watching their home burn, Max stayed beside them. Exhausted eyes locked on the house, he remained alert until firefighters arrived. Sarah and Mark held Emma tight, tears streaming down their faces as they whispered words of gratitude into Max's fur. Neighbors, once strangers, now stood in awe of a dog who had acted when no one else could. In that moment, Max redefined what it meant to be man's best friend. He didn't just protect, he sacrificed, sensed danger, and made a choice. Love, loyalty, and a quiet kind of bravery made him not just a pet, but a hero. In the quiet hours before dawn, Max, a loyal German shepherd, reminded the world that heroes don't always wear uniforms, they sometimes walk on 4 legs. While the Peterson family slept peacefully, Max sensed a silent threat creeping through their home. His instincts, honed not by training, but by devotion, stirred him into action. Ignoring sleep, he paced, whined, and scratched until he gained entry to baby Emma's room. With the gentlest of care, he dragged her blanket and all towards safety. What seemed terrifying at first to her startled parents quickly turned into awe when they saw the flames flickering from the kitchen. Max's courage was not born of command, but of connection. He risked everything, moving with purpose, not panic, to save the smallest member of his pack. Outside on the front lawn, he stood trembling, not from fear, but from the effort of his mission. His eyes stayed on the burning house, protective, until the very end. That night, Max didn't just save a baby, he saved a family. His silent strength and unwavering loyalty transformed him from a beloved pet into a guardian angel. In a world that often overlooks quiet devotion, Max became proof that sometimes the greatest love is the one that watches over us while we sleep. Max's heroic actions didn't just stop at saving baby Emma. They sparked a wave of realization across the Petersons' neighborhood. As sirens faded and smoke curled into the morning sky, word of the German Shepherd's bravery spread quickly. Neighbors emerged in awe, some having witnessed the moment Max dragged Emma to safety. One neighbor confessed, "I thought it was crazy until I saw the smoke." Others gathered to offer praise and pet the calm, exhausted dog who had faced the flames without hesitation. Even a firefighter knelt down patting Max and saying with genuine admiration, "Smart dog." In the days that followed, Max's story became a symbol of hope and loyalty. News of the fire and the canine hero who sounded the silent alarm made its way around town, touching hearts far beyond the Peterson home. People began to see him not as just a family pet, but as something more, a protector, a reminder of how deeply animals can love and how fiercely they will act when that love is threatened. For the Petersons and all who heard the tale, Max's actions became a beacon of the unbreakable bond between humans and their dogs, one built on trust, devotion, and silent heroism. Max's actions on that early morning taught everyone who heard the story a profound truth. A dog's instincts are often rooted not just in survival, but in love. His ability to sense danger before alarms sounded, his refusal to back down in the face of fire, and his determined rescue of baby Emma were not products of training. They were acts of loyalty born from his deep bond with his family. What moved people most wasn't just that he saved a life, but that he did so with silent conviction, risking his own safety for the ones he loved. For the elderly especially, Max's story resonates deeply. It reminds us that true loyalty doesn't always shout. It acts quietly, powerfully, and without expecting praise. As we age, we often reflect on the relationships that mattered most, the ones marked not by words, but by steadfast presence. Max's devotion to the Peterson family is a living example of that kind of faithfulness. In a world that can feel uncertain, his story offers comfort. Even when we least expect it, love often appears in the form of quiet guardianship. And sometimes it has four legs, a wagging tail and eyes that never stop watching over those it cherishes. In the aftermath of the fire, the Petersons realized Max was far more than a family pet. He was their silent guardian. As neighbors gathered and emergency crews arrived, the truth became clear. Max had acted not out of fear, but out of unwavering love and instinct. His calm presence and protective nature turned panic into gratitude. Even as sirens faded and smoke cleared, Max stood watchfully by a symbol of loyalty and courage. For the Peterson family and their community, Max's heroic actions served as a reminder that the greatest protectors often speak no words, they simply love and act.